Hello YouTube friends, it's the Wimbledon men's semi-finals today, ahead of the final on Sunday. So by the time you watch this, you'll all know the result. But I don't, and I'm going to watch it this afternoon. What time is it now? Well, it's 5 to 12, so it's going to be soon. So I need to make something that I can eat, something gorgeous and nutritious that I can eat later today. So that I don't have to worry about cooking. Now, out in the garden then, what surprised me a huge amount was that I managed to grow 8 of these, unbelievably. Beautiful cauliflowers. So I'm going to make now my deluxe cauliflower cheese sauce. Okay, so cauliflower cheese sauce, that's a bit like the most simple basic meal, isn't it? But not the way I make it. I make a very superior version. So let's get this show on the road. Look away now if you think I'm using too much butter, because it's quite a butter heavy recipe this one. I've got my compost bucket just beside me so all the waste can go in there. Now I've got that pan there with some butter in, melting to be the white sauce. I haven't been a massive sports fan all my life. A result of growing up with 3 men in the house, my dad and my 2 brothers, who were sports obsessed, especially football, which has made me not terribly interested in football. Although I am sorry that England were knocked out the other night. My son will have been upset about that, and many, many other people. So, okay then, I'm going to put these mushrooms on to cook just like that. I'm just peeling, because these are big mushrooms, I don't want this outer skin. So I'm just peeling all this outer skin off so that it's lovely and white inside. And then I'm simply slicing them into nice big slices that will get fried up in that pan there. That's probably enough. So I'm using plain flour, plain ordinary white flour. And I'm just going to put, I don't know, maybe... 1.5 tablespoons of plain flour into probably about the same amount of butter. Yeah, something like that. It's a kind of like make it up as you go along recipe, this. And I'm going to make it in my dish, the one that I made at Pottery. That will be more than enough for maybe 3 meals. So that's going to just sit there then. Here then, in the steamer, up the back. I'm just going to break this cauliflower into florets. I wanted it midday. I won't need this till about 8 o'clock tonight, but I will need it. And I won't feel like setting 2 to cook then. So these little tiny leaves that were around the cauliflower, I'm going to put some of them in as well. That will have another floret of that one. Yeah. So I'm going to put this in as well. Just chop it a little bit. There we go. Pop that in there. Oopsie-daisy. Took my eye off that. Okay, so now I'm going to mix this butter and flour around. A bit too much flour in there, so I'll just put a little bit more butter in there. As I say, look away if you have a problem with me and my butter. People ask me, are you vegan? Are you vegetarian? Do you eat fish? What do you eat? And I'm not anyone who will ever have a definition. If I fancy eating something, I'll eat it. But I'm not a vegetarian. I'm not a vegan. I'm not in anything. I'm just me. Milk here. Okay then. Now, so this sauce is on number 1. That's on number 1. Let's give it another. The mushrooms are just cooking gently in that butter, and the back pan is on, coming to the boil. And this, I mustn't take my eye off this one. So I'm going to turn that pan with the mushrooms off now, because that's pretty good. A couple more are a bit meaty and need cooking, but they will with the residual heat. Now I'm just going to let that milk come to the boil. So I need one more thing. I need frilly pasta. What's this one called? Fiorelli. Yeah, fiorelli. So I'll just in this bowl here, I'll just pour out a bit, because I don't need much. I actually don't need much of anything. So I don't need many mushrooms or much cauliflower or much pasta, or because it's all coming together to make my one big meal. Now, there's another thing I need. I have a couple of slices of this delicious bread, which is, it's lots of grains in it. It's really nice, Virgil's bread, I like it a lot. And so what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to whiz this up in the food processor. Trust me, that's what I'm doing. Okay then, so the sauce is saucing. This back pan then is coming to the boil, and that's where I'm going to put the pasta. So I'm going to cook the pasta for 8 minutes. 8 minutes. Okay then, so while everything's doing, I'm going to grate the cheese. Just some ordinary strong cheddar. I'm going to grate that, and I actually need quite a bit of this because I want this to be really cheesy. So there's some cheese. Now this sauce then, put that up a bit, give it some attention. Okay then, so this is coming to the boil. That has come to the boil. So we're going to put this bit of pasta, it's not much, just a little bit of pasta, just to add another thing into this sauce. Put the cauliflower back on top of it again. Then another thing that I like to put in is little cherry tomatoes. So while we're waiting for everything to cook, okay, so this then, what I like to do here is just put in some cherry tomatoes. I'll just put the ones that have already fallen off their stalks, and they can go straight in the compost. There we go. Straight in, no nonsense. What, just about, for this size dish that I'm making, there you go, maybe that many. Okay then, so we'll start layering this up. That's the tomatoes are in there. The cauliflower's starting to come to a... I'm not going to steam it much because it's lovely and fresh. You know, it's growing half an hour ago. So I'm going to cook the... Oh, 8 minutes. 8 minutes. I'm going to cook the pasta now. Just turn it down a bit, otherwise we're going to have an explosion of water all over the cooker top. And then I'm going to make this thing, which is the topping over here. So I'm just going to shout at you. I'm going to put some salt and black pepper in as well. Just a pinch of each. And then I'm going to put about that much cheese in. So this now is the breadcrumb and cheese, olive oil and salt and pepper. You could put some herbs in there if you wanted to. A few herbs, that would be nice. But that's now the topping for this whole dish. Cauliflower's looking fantastic. It's gone that beautiful green that stuff does when you cook it straight from the garden. Now, in this sauce then, I'm going to put a spoonful of this stuff. So actually quite a lot, because it's quite mild. It's grain mustard, but it's pretty mild. So I'm going to put a big dollop of that in. It's delicious. It's made locally. I use it a lot. In fact, I need to get some more. They do different varieties with honey. That's honey, I think, yeah. They make garlic, horseradish. They're all delicious, absolutely delicious. So 6 minutes left for that pasta. We need something to drain that in. That's for that. And I think, yeah, that might be enough cheese. I'll leave the cheese out though, just in case it isn't. Okay then, so now this sauce is doing beautifully. I might actually risk a look at this. Let's see, I've got a little skewer that I poke into stuff to see if they're ready. No, they're still rock hard. So we'll leave those the whole time that the pasta's cooking, we'll leave that. Okay, so this sauce then, come on sauce, I need you to go a bit more than this. Now cheese is adds quite a bit of salt, so I'm going to add just black pepper to this. Yeah, got some black pepper in there. I get peppercorns and grind them up myself in a mortar and pestle and store them in a jar every few days. It's just nicer, it's fresher, I like it. Okay, we're going to call that it for the cauliflower because I actually don't want it too soft. Look at that, look at the green of the leaves. So that's all going to go in there now, like that. So as I say, there's not a huge amount of cauliflower, but the leaves and the mushrooms, the pasta, the sauce, everything's all going to come beautifully together. And tonight, when I've finished watching the tennis and I'm hungry, it'll all, there it is, there's 8 minutes. Put the cheese in. So all the cheese from the grater goes inside the sauce. You may need to thin it down a little bit more now that the cheese has gone in. It might thicken it a bit. So we'll just melt that now carefully. That's got another couple of minutes to go. Ooh, lovely. I love cheese sauce. Yeah, that's really thick now. You see, the cheese is melting and the sauce is really nice and thick. So it could stand a little splash more milk. It's used almost all that pint. In fact, the stuff in the jug, it has used a pint. So I'm not very good on quantities when I'm cooking. I tend to just sling it in and see what happens. And I'd encourage you to do that as well. It's only really cakes where you've got to be really super diligent about measurements because it won't work. It's like chemistry. But with this kind of thing, you can sort of wing it as you're going along. And so for me, making this supper, it's very easy. I don't have to weigh or measure anything out. Just do it by eye. It's a bit thick again. Oh, I'll use it all. Oh, you lovely cauliflower. So I only planted 8 cauliflowers. They've all done brilliantly well. I'm so pleased. Let's dot these. So the pasta straight into the sauce and stir that round. That always thins the sauce down a bit, so I'll just give that a quick whiz. Okay, let's assemble this then. That's fine, that's good enough. So I'm going to pour everything on top of here. Oh yeah, yummy. Now we're going to put the topping on, and that will go crunchy and cheesy on the top. Is my supper tonight. So I'll put that in the oven half an hour before I want to eat it. It will get crispy and golden on top, and that will probably do me 3 meals. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm off to wash my dishes now and then go and watch the tennis. See you later. Here it is cooked. Crispy on top and nice and bubbly around the edges. So I'm just going to serve this up. After the 6 hours of tennis that I've just watched, I'm ready to eat that now, because the match I wanted to watch has only just started. So here's supper.